Okay, I'm sorry this week's Fun Fact Friday is a little bit late because I've had to redo it a couple of times because I just couldn't do it justice. So, happy Friday, and you know what that means. It's Fun Fact Friday. In keeping with our Black History Month, we are going to be talking about yet another very notable, probably one of the most well known Black animal welfare advocates, Mr. William Key, and his horse, Beautiful Jim Key. Now, Mr. William Key's life was so incredible, I could honestly do an entire podcast episode about it, but I'm going to have to condense it a little bit because the man was just too interesting and amazing. William Key was born a slave in Shelbyville, Tennessee, and even as a young child, he demonstrated an amazing ability to connect with, heal, and nurture animals. He was so good at this, in fact, that he was often sent out to other plantations to help with their animals as well, training, even doctoring some of the neighboring plantations' critters as well. During the Civil War, William Key was also working with the Underground Railroad, and he was unfortunately caught in the act and sentenced to hang. But legend has it he supposedly won his freedom back in a very high stakes game of poker. Now, as a free man, William Key made a huge name for himself as a self taught veterinarian. It just doesn't get any cooler than William Key. After accomplishing so many other things that I just don't have enough time on here to tell you about, he eventually found a sickly foal that other professionals, other farmers, honestly advised that he put down. But he said no, no. And he named the foal Jim after the town drunk. Because of how sickly the foal was, he actually was living in the house with William and his family. And they kind of joke that he never really left. And one of his most famous tricks on the family was to go and steal apples right out of their cupboard. With a little bit of time, patience, and kindness, and a lot of apples and sugar cubes, William, or Bill, was able to teach Jim how to read and spell and do math. And then eventually, Jim even started speaking out about his own opinions on things, including political opinions. Obviously, he wasn't actually talking, just to make that clear. He was communicating by spelling things out, mostly. Just so we're clear. After a little while, Bill decided to take this show on the road, and he and Jim, they toured for a period of about 9 years, during which time about 10 million Americans were privileged enough to see their act. And during that time, they were also written about in every single major newspaper. Over Bill and Jim's 9-year career of touring and advocating for kindness and compassion towards animals, they also got about 2 million different people, mostly children, to sign a Be Kind to Animals pledge. Bill and Jim had a whole fan club. Their fans collected the promotional brochures and flyers for the shows. They made pins and buttons. There was merch all about Jim and Bill. And they used their platform to always advocate for kindness, compassion, and patience with animals.